Good morning. It's Tuesday morning, and it is our time to go through the week and think about what's going on in the church, what might be happening in our own lives, which we may or may not disclose or people know about, or we might, and have a chance to share just a moment about what it means to be a church during a time of pandemic. I want us to remember in special prayer today Evelyn Cartwright, who lost her brother Clifton over the weekend, and the funeral is today. So please do remember her and her family. Also, want you to remember in prayer Norma Elrod, who is Norma's having surgery today. I think many of you know about that. Joyce Fulcher has been so good to put out word to our church and through email. It's a wonderful way to stay in touch with prayers that concern us. And so I encourage you to get connected into that email and keep one another in prayer. But especially today, remember Norma and Ed as they go through this surgery time. I want to acknowledge that we have Thanksgiving coming up very soon. And many of us have altered our plans for Thanksgiving, myself included, as the COVID-19 pandemic is raging right now. Yet we also have hope that there will be an end to it if we hold on. I think that we need to employ what is called enduring faith. My mother and I talk every day, and she takes the occasion to speak to me devotionally. She says, "You need to read this." And one day, not too long ago, she reminded me of the first chapter of James. And I'd like to share with you just verses 2 and 3 of that chapter. My brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of any kind, consider it nothing but joy, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance. This is a time for the church to have enduring faith. It is a time when our faith that has endured through all kinds of trials in the past must now undergo a trial right now. And through this trial, we will testify to our community of the kind of faith that we have. Now, we have to be honest that some churches, some Christians are approaching this time we're having with something other than that kind of approach and that kind of faith. I think that they are making an error, and I pray for them, for their safety, but also for the safety of everyone. And it seems that there's some mythologies that they're basing their decision making on. One of those that I hear quite often is that churches have been closed by the authorities. That simply is not true. Nobody has closed the church. We voluntarily have done what we've done in order to keep people safe. We are legally allowed to do anything, and some churches are doing that, and to their great detriment. And that kind of goes along with the whole idea that a second mythology out there is that we are somehow the persecuted people of the country, that Christians are being picked on unnecessarily. Well, that's not true either. We actually have something of a privileged status historically. Yet we must be willing to accept the fact that we must be helpful in our present circumstances. That's the testimony of the church right now. Another mythology I hear is and I hear some pastors say it, unfortunately, worship must resume. Well, here's the fact. Worship never stopped. We never missed a beat. We worship every single Sunday, and we will continue to. The church throughout its great history has always adapted to the needs. Sometimes worship has been done in prisoner of war camps. Sometimes it's been done underground in tombs because of persecution. Sometimes it has been altered because of sickness like today. So worship is never stopped. It just goes on in a different way. And I encourage you to continue your habit and practice of worshiping with us. The final myth, the fourth myth I would share with you is this: that somehow religious freedom, really read the word prerogative, overrides love for our neighbor. Well, it doesn't. I looked through the New Testament, I looked at the teachings of Jesus, and Jesus made it quite explicit and clear. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second commandment is like unto it, love your neighbor as you love yourself. We love our neighbors by wearing masks. We love our neighbors by socially distancing. We love our neighbors by taking this virus serious enough to keep our hands washed. We love our neighbors by helping them in their time of need. This is the testimony that the church must make, and this is the testimony that we make. This coming Sunday, we'll have a special time of worship. The sermon title will be Thanks for Giving, and I hope that you will tune in. And as you do, you will have hopefully a blessed experience, an inspirational experience, and one you'll learn something. So tune in at 11 o'clock on the radio live, or tune in through the podcast. Either way, be a part of what your church is doing in worship. I hope you will enjoy Jane and Sylvia as they offer the musical rendition of Now Thank We All Our God. I hope you have a wonderful week. And know that God is with you. We are going to get through, and our faith will endure.